All right, good morning. Good morning. We're going to take a look today at solving trig problems. Before we do an actual problem, there are 6 little steps you need to do on every one of them. Actually, the first step can be done once per side of the paper, but these are just the 6 steps that if you follow, you're going to get the answer every time. Okay, so the first thing you want to do at least once per side is you want to write the ratios. Okay, and remember the ratios are some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. Now, since I have these here, I don't have to write them any other where on this side. If I had problems on the back, I'd want to write them on the back too. But I need to be able to look at these until you really, truly learn them. But even then, it's just easier to have them written. The second step is to label H, O, and A. Okay, so the way we label H, O, and A, we did this 2 days ago. You find the important angle, which in this case is 32. It's never going to be that one, and that one doesn't have anything on it. Imagine that you're in a haunted house. You're standing in this corner. Now, first of all, this is H, because you know that's the hypotenuse because there's the right angle. To find O and A, you're standing in a haunted house in this corner. You turn on your flashlight. You shine it on the wall that you can't touch. You can touch these 2 walls. You can't touch this one, and it makes a big O on the wall. So if that's H and that's O, that's A. Now we get to mark one out. Okay, one of these, either H, O, or A, is not important. And there always will be one that's not important. One of them, every teacher has at least 1 or 2 students like this one. Okay, this one student doesn't tell you anything and doesn't ask you anything. They just take up space. They don't do anything. Okay, so for example, this side is saying, hey, look, I'm 4. A says I'm 4. H is saying, hey, look, I want to know what I am. I'm X. What am I? It's asking the question. But O, man, O is doing nothing but taking up our time and our space. So the great thing is, in this case, you actually get to mark it out. You don't need it anymore. Now we get to pick our ratio. That's step 4. We're going to pick our ratio. All right, now the way we pick our ratios, you look at what you have left. You have A and H. And this one is the one that uses A and H. C equals A over H. Now, all you do, folks, is you write the equation. And if you're wondering how you're going to do that, you've never done that before, what do? It's not hard. This is cosine, so you write cosine. And my pen is dying. Let's see. Sorry about that. All right, so cosine. Let's see if this writes. Yeah, cosine. The next thing you always write is the angle. In this case, it's 32. That's going to equal A over H. Well, A is 4 and H is X. And the last step to solving every equation is the last step to doing these is to solve the equation. You did this yesterday 100 times, or our last day of meeting. You did this 100 times. What you got to do is turn your calculator on. You're going to type cosine of 32. No, you're not. Excuse me. I apologize. Where's my head? X is on bottom. So you're going to have to divide. So you're going to type 4 divided by the cosine of 32. Oops. Now, if you ever get an error message, guys, I hope you don't hit quit. I hope you go to, and it takes you to right where the mistake is. And you're like, oh, I need to delete that. I don't know why I hit times there. And then you hit enter. The answer is 4.79. Wait a second. That can't be. No. Oh my gosh, I just made the cardinal error that I told you yesterday not to make. We did not change our stuff. Remember, anytime you're doing trig problems, folks, you need to go to radian and change it to degree. And I recommend you go to float and change it to 2. Because all of our answers will be in 2 decimal places unless it's an angle. So now I'll get out of here by hitting second mode. And let me type that in again. 4 cosine 32 is 4.72. See, I realized when I had that big long decimal, I had not gone in and changed my stuff around. So the answer is 4.72. Yeah, just leave it like that. 4.72. Sorry about that. I'm using the wrong pen again. That's the problem. I couldn't see it and wondering what my issue is. 4.72. There we go. Okay, so down here on this one, now that we've got our calculator set up, we don't have to do step 1 again because we got it right there. We can see it. Step 2, we're going to label H, O, and A. This is H because there's my right angle. That has to be H. Now we're going to imagine we're standing in this corner because that's the important angle because it says right there 31. This one doesn't tell us anything, and it can never be that one. When I stand in this corner, I turn my flashlight on. I'm going to shine it on the wall. I'm not touching. I'm going to shine it on this wall. That's going to be O. And if that's H, that's O. This is going to be A. All right, for our next step, we get to mark one out. The one that's not important this time, the one that's not telling us anything or asking us anything, is A. So we mark A out. And now we get to pick the ratio. Which ratio uses the O and the H? Well, that's sine right here. Sine is O over H. Some old hippie. So step 5 is we write the equation. Sine of the angle 31 equals x over 14. Sine of 31 is x over 14. Now x is on top. When we do this step 6, we solve the equation. Since x is on top, this time we're going to multiply. It's going to be 14 sine of 31. We get 7.21. X is 7.21. So, by the way, let's talk about what this means. This means that this side is 4.72. That's the hypotenuse. It has to be bigger than 4 because the hypotenuse has to be the biggest side. Sometimes it's just barely bigger than 4, but it's bigger than 4. This one over here, same thing, except, well, actually in reverse, because this is not the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 14. This has to be less than 14, and it is. It's 7.21. Okay, coming over here to this one. Again, we don't have to write the ratios. We got them up here. The second step is to label H, O, and A. Well, here's H. When I'm standing in this corner, I know it's H, by the way, because remember, if you touch this angle, you're not touching H. So the other one you're not touching is that one. If I'm standing in this corner, which is the important corner, and I turn my flashlight on, I shine it on the wall I can't touch, it makes a big circle on the wall. So if that's H, that's O, this is A. Step 3 is we get to mark one out. The one that's not important this time is H. So the ratio we're going to use this time is tangent. Tangent is the opposite over the adjacent, or tryptophan acid. T equals O over A. So we're going to write tangent of 44, remember the angle goes second, equals, and remember it's O over A, so it's X over 9. And again, since X is on top on this one, we're going to multiply. It's going to be 9 tangent 44. And when I type that in, we get 8.69. 8.69. X equals 8.69. There's not really anything I can compare that. We don't really know. Since this is 8.69, we don't really know, and this is 9, we don't know which side of these is going to be bigger because it's not the hypotenuse. So can't really compare anything with that, but still, it's a good thing to have. All right, over here, something's a little different on this one. Talk about it in a second. So on this one, again, same rules apply. You're going to write the ratios, but we have them up here already. As long as you can reference it, you're okay. Down here, we're going to label H, O, and A. Here's my right angle, so I'm not touching H, which is this one. The important angle is this one. It's the only other thing with something in it. And when I turn my flashlight on, I shine it on this wall over here and it makes a big circle. So if this is H and that's O, this has to be A. Step 3 is to mark one out. The one that's not important in this case is O. So our function we're going to use that uses A and H that does not use O is cosine again. C equals A over H. So now we write the equation. Cosine of the angle, and the angle this time is X. Cosine of X equals A over H, 10 over 18. A over H, 10 over 18. All right, and so now this time we type, since we're looking for X, we type second cosine 10 divided by 18. Second cosine 10 divided by 18 is 56.25. Remember that if it's an angle, which is what we're measuring right here, you're going to round it down to the down or up to the biggest whole number. This time it would be 56 degrees. All right, over here on this one, we are going to do the same thing again. You're going to make sure you have your ratios up here. You're going to label H, O, and A. I'm touching the right angle, so this has to be H. If I'm standing in this corner and I turn my flashlight on, it's going to shine on this wall and make a big circle. And so if that's H and that's O, that has to be A. Step 3 is we get to mark one out, and the one that's not telling us anything or asking us anything is A. Both of these are saying, hey, look, I'm 10, or hey, look, I'm 6. That one's not telling us anything. We would then figure out which ratio we wanted to use, and the one that uses O and H is sine. So we're going to write sine, some old hippie, sine of X, remember we're looking for the angle this time, is, and it's O over H, so that's 6 over 10. And again, since it's the angle, you type second sine 6 divided by 10. Second sine 6 divided by 10 would be 36.87. I would round that up to 37 degrees. Folks, that is how you solve trig problems, no matter whether you're looking for the angle or you're looking for the side. We're going to take this a step further in the next couple of days where you have word problems where you have to draw the picture and then follow these 6 steps, which makes it a little bit harder. Anyways, good luck. I hope you understand this and enjoy your work tomorrow.